morning everybody, how are we? Welcome back to another video. I've been seeing this type of video all over my For You page and it is a favourites video. Everything that I've been loving, things that I've purchased, things that I've watched recently, books that I want to read, books that I'm reading, TV, film, clothes, accessories, skincare, like the works. I also asked on Instagram for some questions and you guys pulled through with some juicy questions. So I'll answer those at the end. And I thought I could start with a little catch up, a little rundown. You know, I do my weekly vlogs, but I think I've said before, I've been trying to really organise my life and be productive with my time. And that involves looking at my next few months and what that entails. So I'm gonna go through that with you today. If you don't know me, hello, I'm Alicia and I'm a musical theatre performer. I am currently playing Monica Geller in Friends the Musical Parody, which is a right laugh, and I take you behind the scenes every single week. And I do bits and bobs of lifestyle, travel, la da 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 da. So if that tickles your fancy, please join us and subscribe. All right, let's start with the next few months. What is going on for Alicia? Also, I'm in my dressing room and the lighting is very warm. So if I look kind of crazy, that's why. And obviously I've got no makeup on. And I've been wearing a hat all week. So just bear with. Okay, so the next few months, I have 4 tour venues left. 4 weeks left until I start panto rehearsals. I've just had my panto script through. If you don't know already, I'm playing Aurora in Sleeping Beauty in Chatham this Christmas. And I am so excited. Basically, I've got a month off Friends where I can fit in a panto. And this one works perfectly. I don't have a day off either side. I'm probably going to feel very burnt out. But no rest for the wicked. I'm making money over Christmas. I'm keeping busy. And yeah, I just love panto, so I am super excited to get started on that. And we've got a new vlog series coming for panto called The Princess Diary. Before we get there, I have booked in to get my hair done because I'm still just not happy with the colour. I think it's just a bit meh now, isn't it? Like, this lighting, to be fair, is making it look even more meh than it is actually meh. But basically, I'll put some pictures on the screen and you guys can let me know what you think. But I am going for a balayage. I'm going for dark roots and then honey blonde through the ends. Basically, I've got my headshots in January, my new headshots. And so I want to be looking most Alicia, most myself. And currently right now, like, I just don't think my hair is very me. I think it's just very meh. And I just want to feel like my hair really accentuates my skin tone and my features, and I just don't feel like it does that currently. So I'm going to get it done in a few weeks. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're a hairdresser what to ask for. Also in a couple of weeks, my partner Lewis is going to Norway for a month. He is doing a cruise ship and he's doing 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, but his rehearsal process is a month. So that is a month where he's not here, so that's going to be incredibly hard. I mean, we're very good at the long distance thing with this being my lifestyle, but you know, being without your person for a month is always going to be tricky, and I can't even go out there and see him because I am doing Friends or I'm doing panto. The good thing is that I am extremely busy and, you know, we are like passing ships as it is, and we've learnt to, you know, steal those moments that we have to speak to each other and really like prioritise that time and make it, what's the word? Intentional. You know, and that really works for us. He'll be back by Christmas, so he can come and see my panto, and then he's got a month before he actually starts going on and off the ship. Super proud of him. It's a brilliant opportunity, and it hopefully means that by next summer we can still be on the house buying initiative because he can come back every 2 weeks because he needs to sell his flat. Long story, but basically this means he can still be performing, still be doing his dream, while also getting our life on the way and prioritising our relationship, which is just... So auditions are already happening for when I finish Friends. So I finish Friends in May next year. It's only the odd little bits and bobs that are auditioning already for things that start in May, so I don't feel like I'm going to have that many auditions pre-Christmas, but definitely in January I will be doing Audition With Me Until I Get Cut, which it seems is the favourite on my channel, honestly. Like, you guys love to see me fail, which is so fine. I'm happy to put myself out there, and I just find that it's really useful to show people the reality of it. And you know, even with years and years of experience in the industry, like, it does not get any easier auditioning. So yeah, I'm super excited to share that with you again. I'm probably going to try and keep Monica Mondays going whilst also doing Audition With Me, because my life will just be chaos at that point. So let's just try and like pump out the content, I guess. So yeah, stay tuned and subscribe for that. So between January and May, we have a couple of weeks off in March where I'm hoping to, in one of the weeks, go and visit Lewis on the cruise ship. So hopefully I can show you a little bit of that. And then in the other week, Lewis and I are hoping to do some sort of warm-ish holiday. I don't know where we want to go, but we're definitely going to go and explore somewhere that we haven't been before. If you watched our Greek holiday vlogs, you'll know how much we love just like seeing new places, trying new foods, and yeah, we just love traveling together, so we are going to do that. Then when we get to May, it is the end of Friends and I am into the abyss. Who knows what the hell I will be doing. But obviously I'll be auditioning all the way through the start of the year. I mean, I might be extremely, extremely lucky and just have something to go straight into, which has never happened to me before. So let's just be realistic. But yeah, I might be out of musicals for a week, a month, a year, 2 years, never work again. Like it can be very varied depending on what shows come about and if they're right for me and if I'm right for them. And that is the rundown of me for the next like 7 months. So that's all that's happening. That's all that you can expect content wise. Now let's get into some of my favourite things. I've got a little list here on my phone. So let's start with TV. I've been loving my TV at the moment. So, first of all, we've got Celebrity Traitors. Oh my gosh. I think it would have finished. Yes, it definitely would have finished by the time I put this vlog out. But oh my God, I have loved it so much. The fact that most of them know each other is like a next level thing because, you know, when the regular Traitors happens, they're all strangers and they're all trying to work each other out, whereas they've already worked each other out, and so it's really easy to know when somebody's lying. But these faithfuls have just been horrendous. And the Traitors have been great. So yeah, go and watch that if you haven't already. I'm not watching Strictly or Bake Off this year. I think obviously because I'm on show schedule, it's really hard to watch evening TV. I have to really like try, which I have done with Traitors because I absolutely love it. I would love to go on the Traitors. BBC, please put me on the Traitors. But let me know if I should catch up, especially Bake Off. I used to do the technical bake of Bake Off every single week in lockdown and I absolutely loved it. I guess now I don't have a kitchen and stuff to like bake along every week, but when I have my house and I'm a little bit more settled, 100% I'll go back to that and maybe I'll get more into it then. Perfect Neighbour is a new crime documentary and it is the most horrific, like vivid crime documentary I have ever watched. It's all done on body cam footage and interrogation room footage and like audio recordings. And you know, you can't believe that people do this and just, yeah, go and watch it. It is horrifying. Get the tissues out at the end. But yeah, a really good watch. And also just another reason why guns should just be made illegal in America. Hostage with Saran Jones, I really love. Molly May Behind It All on Prime. I love her. I think she is misunderstood a lot of the time, but her management right now are not doing well for her. Like, you know, they're scared of her getting cancelled and then doing things that are definitely going to get her cancelled. I much prefer her regular vlogs where she's not doing anything flashy. She's just like, you know, living a day in the life. Because yeah, it feels like in this Prime documentary, she's always doing like really flashy things, which I think in some ways contradicts her personality and makes her seem a little bit more righteous and privileged than she is at heart. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, I think this time round, the series kind of missed the mark. Okay, let's go on to cinema. Lewis and I absolutely love going to the cinema. If we were both in one place, we would 100% have, you know, an unlimited card or an Odeon card, whatever it's called, because we just love it. We recently saw One Battle After Another, which is sort of a action drama film. It's the new one with Leonardo DiCaprio and we absolutely loved it. 10 out of 10. We also saw Weapons, which is directed and produced by the same person who did The Barbarian. If you've seen The Barbarian, it's super scary and thrilling like the whole way through, and then you get to the end, this woman like jumps off the building and she's screaming and it's really funny. And it makes you feel silly for ever being scared of this person. And he does the exact same thing with Weapons. The whole cinema was absolutely belly laughing and it was just like outstanding. We were so on the edge of our seats and terrified throughout and, you know, like covering our eyes and things, and then suddenly you're seeing this thing in like daylight and it's just like, what on earth? And the whole cinema, honestly, it was a really, really great experience. It just makes you feel like really silly for being scared, which I think is a brilliant idea. Okay, let's talk about on my list to be watched. I've got the Victoria Beckham series. I have no idea what that's about, but I've heard amazing things about it. It's on Netflix. Monster, the Ed Gein story. Ed Gein. Heard very mixed opinions about that, but I'm just curious at this point, you know. Stranger Things is coming on the 27th of November, which I am so excited about. I am a die-hard Stranger Things fan. I've seen the stage show. I've actually watched it all the way through twice leading up to this new series coming out. So yeah, very, very excited for that. And of course, Wicked Part 2 coming out in the cinemas on the 21st of November. So excited. If you're still here and with me, congratulations. I am still reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. It is amazing. I am loving it. I'm still gripped. It's taken me a little bit of a while because I've just had so many other things going on. I've had like editing emails, things with work, you know, it's just been pretty manic, but we're getting through and I've got about, it says an hour and a half left on my Kindle, so nearly there, nearly at the end, but I'm loving it. It's set between France in the 1700s and New York in present day, pretty much. She's immortal and nobody remembers her when she goes out of sight. And one day she walks into a library and a guy remembers her, and it's all about why. To be read, I've got so many. I'm struggling to find this book anywhere, so I've ordered it to the Waterstones that I'm going to next week. It's called Beartown by Frederick Backman. The Lies We Told by Camilla Way. The Wedding People by Alison Espach. Don't know whether I've said that right. The Business Trip, Jessie Garcia. The Compelling Fates Saga. There's 3 books so far and there's another one coming out in December, so they must be good, and I've heard loads of good things on TikTok about them. And yeah, I'm just really, really loving getting back into reading and having a to be read list and going and picking out a book. Lewis and I are actually reading the same books at the moment, so he's got the physical copy of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue and I'm reading the Kindle, and yeah, we're collecting the physical books, but we're both able to read at the same time because I've got it on Kindle. So that's a really sweet thing that we're doing as well, to work with the long distance, to have a book to talk about and to do together, you know, when we don't have the time to do it at the same time. Let's talk about my skincare. If you've been here for a while, you'll know that my skin goes up, down, up, down. One video you'll watch, I'll have literally the worst acne on both my cheeks, and the next video you watch, I will have clear skin. And it's just so frustrating. And I've been working over the years to figure out what it is, what is clogging my pores, because I have like very lumpy, bumpy skin a lot of the time. And yeah, I've just been doing masses of research, basically. And I think I have finally gotten to a place where I can use some sort of retinol and my skin not freak out. So let me tell you my skincare routine. And this is for clog prone, acne prone, oily and dry skin, like the worst skin you could ever imagine. And I've managed to get to this, which I'm really proud of. I've still got like a few bits and bobs going on. I don't have any makeup on right now. But you know, on the whole, it's pretty clear. And as somebody who wears a full face of makeup every day for hours a day and sweats in it, this is pretty good for me. So we've got the Dermatica oil-based cleanser. We've got the Aveeno Oat Cleanser, which is your water-based cleanser for your double cleanse. And then these steps are new, which have literally changed the game over the last like couple of weeks, really. I alternate between the Geek and Gorgeous Retinol Serum. It's like a weaker version of a retinol, which I think my skin is able to deal with a lot better. So I use that, and the holy grail, everybody, which I didn't quite believe, because some people say it's overrated, some people say it's the best thing since sliced bread. Mandelic acid. I specifically use the ordinary one, and it's basically an exfoliant, like salicylic acid, but like the molecule is bigger or something, so it's more gentle on your skin. And my skin is just so angry and sensitive so much of the time. I've had to go with the most simple things, and you know, things that aren't gonna have too much of a vicious attack on my skin. And honestly, mind blown. I do the retinol on like one night and then the mandelic acid on the other night, and then in the morning I don't cleanse at all. Just moisturizer, barrier serum, SPF. I use the Purito barrier serum, Cetaphil moisturizer, and I use Bioma SPF, but I think I might be breaking out from it. I'm not quite sure. I'm testing it right now. And then I also use the Bubble Vitamin C Eye Cream. I don't have any concealer on right now, and normally my dark circles are way, way worse than this. So yeah, I think it's working. Makeup, the only new thing that I've tried is the L'Oreal Infallible Foundation. It is non-comedogenic, so it won't clog your pores. And it's actually more lightweight than I expected. You can definitely build it up. And yeah, it stays on my face and it's great for the show. I've had a lot of questions about my jacket. My jacket is from ASOS. It was definitely a little bit more of an investment piece. I think it was £65, something like that. But I have lived in this. I don't mind buying pieces like this because, for example, I've had this jacket and this jacket only for 3 weeks on end on tour. I've worn it every single day, and that's just how I choose to live my life with being on the road all the time. I bring one jacket with me and then I wear it every day. So definitely worth the investment. And this feels like kind of a timeless piece that will come back year on year. I will wear it next spring and then going into the autumn next year as well. I've also had lots of questions about my bag. I've got it right here. This is the new beauty. It is like a fake suede. It's from Stradivarius. I was going to buy one from Mango that was like £80, and I just thought, God, it's just not worth it. The way that I treat these bags, like, I always overfill them, and yeah, I just chuck all of my belongings in them. So yeah, this was from Stradivarius, and I think it was £35, which is such good value. And honestly, because this and the jacket match, I've just always got like an outerwear combo that looks like I'm put together. You know, if I've got leggings on or if I've got jeans on, I look like I've thought about my outfit, where, you know, I just do wear this every single day. But yeah, I just wanted a nice big handbag that I could put like my iPad in, so I could go to a coffee shop and like take all my things to edit or whatever I need to do. So yeah, love her. The last thing that I've bought recently is my Awala. I love her so much. I love that I can glug, 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 and I love that I can have a sippy, sippy as well. Sometimes I only have 15 seconds off stage where I need to just go glug, so that's really good, but also I can just sip. It cleans really easily, and I just think it's a super cute colour combo. I got this from Urban Outfitters. Purchases that I'd like to make, but very expensive, so, you know, I'm saving my money and I'm working up to it. Number one is a new phone, because my speaker, like when I'm on the phone like this, I literally cannot hear. I have to be on speakerphone and yeah, just speak like that. So I need to get a new phone. I'm deliberating what iPhone to get. I'm definitely an iPhone girly. I think I always will be. I don't think I can ever do any other brand of phone, to be honest. I'm thinking about just biting the bullet and just investing in the 17 Pro, whatever it is. Obviously with this work, social media and acting, I use my phone so much. Like, my screen time is horrendous, but in like a productivity way. I'll always be filming videos for TikTok. I use my phone to film self-tape. I just feel like I owe it to myself to invest in a new phone, but they're just so expensive, aren't they? The other thing that I would love is an Aura ring, and they're just so expensive, but I feel like I would love to manage my stress and anxiety with it, and I would love to look at my sleep and how my sleep affects me, actually how my sleep affects my voice. That would be amazing to look into and monitor. But yeah, I think I'm just going to ask all of my nearest and dearest, instead of buying me a present, to just put together some money to get me an Aura ring because they're so expensive. They're like £400. The main purchase that I'd like to make is a new house next year, and I'm putting every single penny I can into savings. You know, I've not only got to do a deposit, I've got to have money for furniture, solicitor fees, you know, all of the extra fees that you don't actually think about. Not furniture, but like all of the sort of like processing costs, I'm going to call them, are like 10 grand. So, you know, we are saving at the moment. Okay, to finish, a few questions from you guys. Honestly, I've just picked the ones that are a bit more personal and things that I've not necessarily spoken about before. So here we go. First question is, how do you maintain friendships with a tough schedule? Yeah, It's something that I'm still working on and something that I'm still learning how to do, especially with the distance and things and not seeing those friends. I spoke about the way that I communicate with my friend Rebecca. I don't communicate with all of my friends like that. Basically, we send very, very long voice notes back and forth, and that is just the way that we like to do it and the most flexible way. With some of my other friends, I just try and FaceTime them whenever I can. Like if I'm walking to work, I'll just go, hey, how are you? Let's check in. And, you know, really try and open up that line of communication, because it's very easy to just isolate yourself. Like when you're on tour, you feel like you're in this like bubble. And I've just learned over the years that even when you're on these tours, you have to nurture your friendships. It just gives you a little bit of an escape, an outlet from these work environments. And, you know, if you are living, socializing, working with your colleagues, it's just not going to be healthy. So I really do try and call as much as possible. And my friends will often come and see the show at some point, so they might stay over. And when I'm back in London, I might, you know, organise a breakfast or something like that. But it is just really, really freaking hard. And it's something that I really don't like about this industry, to be honest. Has Monica changed your goals for casting? Not necessarily, and this is linked to the next question. How are you finding tour life this time round? I've spoken about this before, and, you know, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but, you know, I'm really just struggling with the lifestyle now. I think I am older and I'm craving, you know, to be settled. Some of my friends are married, dogs, kids, houses, and, you know, I'm still traipsing around the UK, not having a base. I haven't had a wardrobe in years. You know, I do just feel ready to say goodbye to it. And so when I'm asked, you know, does Monica make you feel like your casting is different, like you could play more leads? I do think yes, in some respects, but I'm also very realistic in what is achievable for me. I personally don't think that I am ready / I don't think I've honed my craft enough to be a Monica sort of role in the West End. And I do think that I want to be more picky in where I am in the world for my mental health and for my lifestyle, and for me just to feel happier, especially with buying a house next year. I think it will be such a shame if I don't live in said house. So I had a conversation with my agent this week, and I basically said, tell me if I am, you know, being unreasonable, or like if you don't think that this is a wise decision to make. But going into auditions next year, I really do want to try and steer away from weekly touring. You know, maybe a tour like Moulin Rouge or Hamilton or something like that that sits down in a venue for 3 weeks at a time. I would feel more settled and able to, you know, breathe and unpack my things. Weekly touring, this is my 4th one. Like, I just don't want to do it anymore, to be honest. And I really had to think about doing Monica because I knew that weekly touring wasn't necessarily for me anymore, but it was this lead role. And I was like, okay. And of course, if something really sparkly and special comes about that is a weekly UK tour, put me in then. Do you know what I mean? And I'll just grin and bear it, because I really do want to build my CV in order to have this more settled life in London at some point. But, you know, I've said to my agent, if I have to go back into ensemble work or swing work, which, by the way, is no easier or harder, it's just easier to get into with somebody with my CV, if that makes sense. If I have to go back to that to have the opportunity to work in London, then absolutely I will. And if I have to be auditioning for a longer period of time and getting more no's and more setbacks because I'm being more picky about what I'm auditioning for, then that's okay as well. I will find something that I can do for work in that period of time, and that to me is preferable than locking myself in for another year of this weekly touring, especially if it's for something that doesn't enhance my CV massively. So that's where I'm at. That's been a massive decision though, because, you know, everybody in the musical theatre industry just gets offered a job and goes, yes, I'll do that one. You know, I've never declined a job without having another option to go to. So yeah, that's going to be hard next year. Stay tuned. A little bit of a brighter question, which I love. As a Disney fan, what movie would you love to see turned into a stage musical? Listen, I was watching Princess and the Frog the other day with Lewis, and we just sat there and he went, this is already written. The musical, like they could take the entire script of Princess and the Frog and make it a musical. Like, it is all so theatrical, so well done. The characters are so, I don't know, you can just see human beings playing them, and I just think the music is amazing. It's one of my favourite Disney films. I love it, and I just think, wow, imagine that in the West End, The Princess and the Frog. And then, because I've made this suggestion, when it happens, can I please play Charlotte? You know, the blonde princess that's like, please, thank you. And the final question, which is something that I've never spoken about before. Do you plan on having children in the future? Okay, I'm 27 years old, everybody. So, you know, realistically, if I want to have children, I probably need to think about doing it in the next 6 years. Obviously, you can have children after that, but, you know, if there's anything problematic with my fertility or anything like that, you know, that's kind of the more safe zone, I guess. I don't really know. But anyway, that feels like a ticking time bomb for me. And it's something that I've always felt. And it's something where I've felt like, you know, I need to find the right person and I need to settle down and I need to have things in place so that if I do want a child, that I can do that. And honestly, like, now that I have found Lewis, I do really see that for myself, which, you know, has kind of been a bit floaty in years before, just because I've been so unsettled and just didn't know what I wanted. You know, I think Lewis and I really, really would like to have children if we can. But the current climate right now, like, I can barely look after myself with, like, the cost of living and things like that. Like, buying a house is going to be so difficult. I am going to have to literally scrape my bank account. Like, I'm going to have £0 to my name. You know what I mean? I stole a loaf of bread. And I just think, you know, if I can't give a child the upbringing that I had, where, you know, my parents, I mean, they worked very hard to make sure that I could do all of my hobbies that I wanted to do and X, Y, Z. Now I think, oh my gosh, if I had somebody else to look after, especially in this musical theatre industry where life is so uncertain, I don't know, I need to be in a different place to where I am now currently. And I actually don't have a 5-year plan. I can't predict the future. Like I said, next May, I'm just unemployed and that's it. Like, I don't know what's happening with me. I might be going to Japan and doing a show, or I might be in London in the West End. I might have quit. I don't know. Like, genuinely, I don't know where the hell I am or where I'm going. And I think as a control freak, that is a lot. That's a lot to deal with. But anyway, I would love to have children, but I need to be in a position where I feel stable enough to do so and give them a really, really great life. What I would like to do is get a dog. And I think that will happen much sooner and it would be much easier to deal with. So yeah, we really, really do want a dog once we obviously have our house and we're settled in. And yeah, I have always thought that I have a maternal instinct, and, you know, I have 5 nieces and nephews, and I was saying the other day to my family, like, I remember my oldest nephew, who was 16, I remember holding him in my arms with a bottle when I was 10 years old. You know, that was sort of the upbringing that I had. And so, yeah, I've always imagined myself being a mother at some point in my life. So, yeah, hopefully I'll be stable enough to. If not, I'll be travelling and living my best life. But yeah, anyway, it's definitely something that is very far off. Anyway, I've been waffling on for so long. I need to go out, get myself a coffee. I think I'm going to go and sit in a coffee shop, read my book, and yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you're still here, at this point, I reckon you care about me quite a lot, so thanks for being here. Let me know in the comments below if you made it to the end, and I'll see you in the next one. Lots of love.